You know, whenever you see a huge success story, we're talking sold-out stadiums, shiny awards, global fame, there's almost always a history, a story full of doubt and sacrifice and moments where, honestly, it all could have just ended. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the biggest acts in music to see the incredible struggle that made that spotlight even possible.
Just look at this. It's night and day, right? On one side, you have 2018, a group being called copycats, working for free and literally about to break up. And on the other side, today, global domination, Billboard nominations, P-pop royalty. So how in the world does a journey this extreme even happen? That is the story we are unpacking right now. To really get it, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning, back to a time when the dream was pretty much the only thing they had, and the price they had to pay for it was way steeper than anyone could have guessed. So, it all started with these 5 guys: Pablo, Josh, Stell, Ken, and Justin. Just 5 dreamers who basically bet their entire lives on this idea that, at the time, was a huge long shot, putting Pinoy pop, that's Filipino pop music, or P-pop, on the global map. They got into this notoriously difficult training system run by ShowBT Philippines, which was connected to a Korean company. And listen, this wasn't just some casual after-school practice. This was a grueling, all-consuming process designed to forge world-class performers through just immense pressure. And the scale of the work they put in, it's just mind-blowing. To get a single dance move absolutely perfect, they would drill it up to 1,000 times. 1,000! Can you even imagine that level of physical and mental discipline day after day for years on end? And the personal cost was just staggering. I mean, get this. This wasn't a paid job. They trained for years without making a single dime. There were days they'd have to pool whatever loose change they had just to buy one meal to share between them. Sometimes they'd walk for hours because they couldn't even afford the bus fare to get to the studio. They weren't just training. They were literally just trying to survive.
So, okay, after all that sacrifice, they finally debut. You'd think that would be the payoff, right? The start of the good times? Well, for them, it was actually the beginning of a whole new kind of battle.
They put out their first song, a ballad called Tilaluha, in October of 2018. And the response was, well, nothing. Just crickets. A heartbreakingly quiet reception. But that silence didn't last long. It quickly turned into this massive storm of negativity and intense public criticism.
This was the phrase that followed them everywhere. Copycats. K-pop wannabes. Their fashion, their sound, their look, everything was just picked apart and attacked. Instead of being celebrated for all that hard work, they were just dismissed.
And honestly, it all just became too much. The financial struggle, the pure physical exhaustion, and now this wave of public hate, they hit the breaking point. The group actually sat down together and had the talk. It was time to give up. The dream was over.
So what do you do in a moment like that? When you have given literally everything you have, and the world doesn't just ignore you, it actively pushes back and tells you you're not good enough. Do you just walk away?
They decided to give it one more try. One last all-or-nothing gamble. It came down to a single song, one final dance that would either completely change their fate or be the very last thing they ever did together as a group.
I mean, you can hear it straight from the group's leader, Pablo. He said it himself. Their next song, Go Up, wasn't just another track. It was their last shot. It was the final attempt before they packed it all in and walked away from their dream for good. The stakes just could not have been any higher.
And then, out of absolutely nowhere, the unexpected happened. They released a simple dance practice video for Go Up. No big budget, no fancy effects. A fan saw it, shared it on Twitter, and just like that, it exploded. The video went completely viral, and in what felt like an instant, the entire story around them started to flip.
You know why? Because in that one raw video, people could not deny what they were seeing. That razor-sharp synchronization wasn't some kind of studio trick. It was the visible proof of those 1,000-rep drills, of those years of unseen, unpaid work. It was undeniable proof of their commitment.
Now, that single viral moment didn't just magically erase the years of struggle, but you know what it did? It validated them. It was the beginning of them not just finding an audience, but finally earning the respect they had fought and bled for.
And that's because their fight was always bigger than just them. See, they weren't just trying to become famous idols. They were on a mission to put some serious respect on the name of Filipino talent. They were fighting to prove that P-pop absolutely deserved a spot on the world stage.
Which brings us to this whole idea of an overnight success. When you look at a story like SB19's, you see what that term really papers over. It's a convenient label that completely ignores the years of hunger, the moments they almost disbanded, and all the relentless, brutal work that nobody ever saw.
So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you see a group or an artist just explode onto the scene out of nowhere, ask yourself, how many of them have a hidden story just like this one, buried deep beneath the surface of the spotlight?